Hello, Brantford homeowners. The market's shifted again, and today I'm going to break down exactly what it means for your home value, your buying power, and of course, your next move in real time. We're going to give you all the updates here today. So, welcome. Thank you so much for watching my live, and I'm really excited about today. Of course, I'm Adam Marshall with Remax Twin City and the Adam Marshall team. Welcome back to Ask a Marshall Live, your weekly Brantford and Brant County real estate briefing with no fluff, just real answers, just straightforward, keeping it simple. So today's our market masterclass, and I'm going to give you the clearest breakdown of what's happening right now on Brantford Brant County and area, and what smart buyers and sellers are actually doing in this market. So if you're watching live, say hello in the comments. Please post below and tell me where you're tuning in from. It would be great. And of course, ask your questions. I'd like to be able to get to as many questions as possible when we get to the Q&A section. So let's just jump straight into today's numbers because they are telling a really important, very important story. So here's what is happening in the Brantford market today. So right now, as of today, brand new, as I just updated the stats, the active listings here in Brantford, there's 370 active listings currently. In the past 30 days, rolling 30 days, 90 homes have sold. The average days on market is 73 for a house to sell. And currently that leaves us with 4.1 months of supply on the market. So the big question is what does all this mean? Well, what this means is that we're in a balanced to buyers leaning market. Pardon me. So good balanced market leading towards a buyer's market on the, creeping up just above 4 months, but very solid, very stable. So there's 73 days on the market that it's taking for houses to sell. That tells us that buyers, they have time. They're not rushing. They're having a good look around, and they're negotiating when they're making an offer. But the good homes are selling quickly. Okay, they're still selling, and sometimes much faster than the average. The quickest one that sold in the past 30 days was on the market for 4 days. That's sold. So this is one of the best windows that we've had for a long time for move-up buyers. And that's the key point for buyers for today. Anyone who's looking to move up, to take their house wherever they're at, and they know that they need something larger, better neighborhood, something different. This is a great time for it because we're in a good balanced market. You can get solid money for your house, and we can go ahead and buy something and get a great deal on it. Now, let's look at Brant County. Pardon me. Active listings currently, there's 198 active listings as of today on the market. In the past 30 days, 39 homes have sold. And the average days on market is 68 days that it took these homes to sell. That leaves us in the county of Brant 5.1 months of supply on the market. So once you cross that 5-month mark, you're officially heading towards that buyer's market range. So that's just where the county sits today. So there's more inventory there in the county. There's more negotiation room. And of course, there's more opportunity if you're a buyer. So, but sellers who position themselves smartly, they're also winning. Things are selling, things are getting moved. And I'll get into more of the numbers here today. So here's your market masterclass summary. Number one, you need to know that buyers have more choice and negotiation power. Number two, sellers must price strategically, and the presentation of the home matters. So presentation of the house is this: clean. Your house has to be clean. If you're not sure if your house is clean, ask a friend, okay? But your house has to be clean. I can't stress that enough. I'm going through lately a lot of homes that are not in showing shape, in my opinion. And you want to stage it. So you need to stage it. You need to declutter, get rid of the extra stuff that you don't need. If you don't want to get rid of it, then is what I call pre-packing. Let's pack it up. Let's get it ready. Let's get it out of the way. It's going to make your house feel better. It's going to make it present better. It matters. It's important right now. Months of supply is between 4 and 5 months of supply currently. So that means it's stable. There's no chaos. There's nothing crazy. It's all good and it's all solid. So you have a great opportunity to go ahead and get your house sold. And when you're a buyer, you know that you can probably negotiate with a house, and you're going to be able to negotiate to get a great deal on a house that perhaps needs some work or is a touch overpriced. You're going to be finding some motivated sellers. This is an ideal move up market. Okay, so it's you can sell for a strong number, and you can also buy with leverage and get a good deal. And that's a great mix. That's where you want to be. In other markets, you don't have the same advantage as you do right now. So let's dive into exactly what to do with this information in our deep dive here. Okay. Any questions you have, please post below. I'd like to hear from you. I'd like to go ahead and know what your thoughts are, what kind of information you'd like, and I'd like to obviously get to your questions and know what you're thinking and know what you'd like to have answered. So, as we jump in here, as we say, jump in, ask a question. I want to say hello. I'd like to hear about that. I'd like to hear what you're up to. Okay. So now, as we're here, now that you know where the market stands, let's go ahead and give you what's actually happening in the actual playbooks. Okay. Here is where buyers and sellers currently are now in today's market conditions. So for the buyer's playbook, take notes, please, ask questions. Now, this is how buyers are winning right now in this marketplace. Step one, you need to get fully pre-qualified, not just a quick quote, okay? This is your competitive weapon to buying a house in this market, getting your financing already lined up. Now, what is happening and what will happen quite often in any market, but what a lot of mortgage brokers will do because they don't want to go ahead and spend the extra time or the money checking your credit and asking you for the additional details and the additional paperwork. You need to be ready with your T4s, your notices of assessment. You're going to need a income verification from your lender, some of your most recent pay stubs, and any bills that you have, some recent statements. Because oftentimes, as we know, many of us are carrying extra debt, car payments, stuff like that, Visa, MasterCard, lines of credit, anything like that. You want to have some of the most recent statements available to provide to the broker or the lender to give them the numbers so they can calculate everything properly and they know what you really have in real time in terms of debt and payments. They need to be able to qualify that. They need to go ahead and give you an answer. Without that, they can't give you the right answers. So they need to know how much money you make. They need to get the credit, income verification. They'll need to check your credit. Okay. They need to go through all these things. So be ready. This is not just an online quote and yes, I'm ready to go. Okay. Number two, target homes that are on the market for 40 or 50 days or more. Okay. This is one of my strategic angles that I'm working on with a lot of buyers right now. And that's where I'm selling a lot of homes. I'm selling a lot of homes right now that are on the market for 40, 50 days or more. This is how we're getting good deals. This is one of the ways how we're getting good deals. So I know as buyers, we always focus on, let's see what hits the market next. Let's see what's newest on the market, what's freshest. I get it. But when you're pouncing on the ones that are brand new to the market, so is everyone else. Every other buyer is doing the exact same thing, and they're sitting back and waiting. They're waiting for the new listings to hit the market, and they're not paying attention to the ones that have been sitting around for a while because in their minds they're thinking, hey, there's something wrong with them, right? They've been picked over, and people aren't paying attention to it. And it's a crucial mistake in this market because that's where the deals are. You know, here's why. We want those houses that have been sitting around for a little bit because we're going to have sellers that are going to be more motivated. When we have more motivated sellers, they're up for more of a negotiation and more of a conversation in most cases. These are properties that are not stage wall. Maybe they're not clean. They're not clean. And that's why I say to sellers, you got to have a clean house. But for me as a buyer, I love buying houses that are dirty. I buy a couple a year, just so you know. I buy a couple a year that are dirty and we'll say not well managed. Those are the easiest ones for value adds. If you're an investor or if you're looking for a value purchase as a buyer, easiest thing in the world. If you know how to clean a house, then you can certainly clean up someone else's mess. And some of those messes are not nice to clean up, but I always remind buyers when I take them through a house that may be a power of sale or a house that needs a lot to clean up, that's the smell of money. Just keep that in mind. That's just what money smells like. When you walk into a house and it has that really rich, wonderful odor of whatever, could be pets, could be kids, could be filth, could be garbage, you name it, it's turning other buyers off. But if you can just open up your blinders, take your shades off, have a good look, and see what's there, and then make an offer. Start to negotiate. and you can oftentimes get yourself a real good deal. And that's why those homes are sitting on the market. That's why they're sitting on the market for that 40 or 50 days or longer. Keep that in mind. And that's a strategic advantage there. Step number 3, use my hot list. Okay, this is where I send you off-market properties and deals before they hit the MLS. So whenever I work with buyers, I send them my deals first. I send them all the properties that are going to come on the market, that aren't on the market, and no one else knows about. Okay, this is how I love to sell houses whenever possible. And as a seller, it's awesome too, because we know what your house is worth. And if you don't have to go through the additional showings, the open houses, the staging, the extra stuff that maybe you don't want to do, maybe you're unable to do, this is an awesome way to sell your house. And it's a great way to buy. So if you're a buyer and you're looking and you're going to get a fair deal on a property that no one else is competing on, there's nothing better in my mind that I love to do. And me as a buyer, that's certainly what I'm looking for. Okay. Step number 4, you have to understand the leverage. Okay. In a market where there's 4 to 5 months supply on the market, sellers are far more negotiable than they have been in the past 5 years. Okay. You just need to know that, you have the advantage. You do have the advantage. And now the advantage goes both ways. 1, properties that need work, properties that need to be cleaned up. You need to know as a buyer, you have a strong advantage. Properties that are overpriced, buyers, you have an advantage. Seller, well, I'll get to this in a minute, but you also have an advantage if your house looks good, if your house is properly prepared. Okay. This is what we're talking about. Okay. Because there's inventory that's building, buyers are going to try to, leverage your house with another house that's on the market. So you want to go ahead and make sure all those things are done, but there's an advantage there for you also. Number 5, you got to be ready to act, buyers. Okay. Good deals are sitting. They don't sit forever. This is one thing I had a conversation with someone about just recently, and I was asking them about my stats and me describing to everyone how we have 4 or 5 months supply in the market, or however many months supply. And they commented to me and said, I think that some buyers may not hear what you're saying. Meaning they may hear, hey, there's 4 or 5 months supply in the market. I don't have to rush. Or, hey, there's 4 or 5 months on the market. It's a bad market. Okay. Not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that when you know and you understand how many months supply is on the market, that's going to give you a strong indication of where the market is and how aggressive that you need to be. That's certainly part of it. So if you know that there's not a lot of supply on the market, you had better be on your toes and be ready to make offers right away. But on the flip side, when you do see a property that you like and is in nice condition, and in your opinion, it's priced properly, this is where you need to act. Don't wait for it to sit on the market for 4 or 5 months, because if it's a good property in this market, it's not sitting that long. It is selling. So don't wait that long. You need to be ready to act and understand value and take action when you see it. That's a key part. And I'm seeing too many buyers right now. They're waiting and waiting and waiting, and they're almost waiting for a sign from God to get them to buy that house, which I'm on board with that. However, you do also have to look at that and say, hey, these houses have value. I need to take action. I need to do something now. Okay. And good houses don't last long. Okay. All right. Our seller playbook. Let's flip over the sellers now. Sellers, how to win with 4 to 5 months supply on the market. So how do you get your property to stand out? How do you get this to move? Okay. So obviously step number 1, price with strategy. Okay. Not emotion. You must match today's conditions. So you have to pay attention to what's happening. I know I'm the same when it comes to my house. Most people normally or naturally think that their house is probably worth more than it really is in today's market. Not everyone, majority. Okay. At least the majority of people that I've ever dealt with in my 23 years of selling real estate. So I get that now, but you do have to look at this objectively, as objectively as possible. What is your house worth? Okay. And pricing strategy is key. Now, just know that the houses that are selling, they are selling in a reasonable amount of time, and they're selling for a good amount of money. And that's for 2 reasons. 1, the sellers have priced them correctly. And what that correctly looks like is, for some houses, if your house may not be pristine, you're going to have to price 3 to 5% below what you probably think it should be listed for. Okay, so if you think your house should be listed for 8, you may have to list that for about 720 to 740. Okay, to get that to sell in a reasonable amount of time. Okay, and that is just removing some of that emotion. That is, hey, I'm putting this up for sale. I want to appeal to buyers. Buyers need to see this value, and it's a good house, but I want to get this sold in a reasonable amount of time. I don't want to wait 5, 6, 7 months. Okay, that's number 1. Step number 2, presentation matters, of course, now more than ever. Staging, photography, timing. So staging, we talked about. Clean houses always sell. Super important. Number 2, stage the house. Declutter, depersonalize. If the house is vacant, please, I beg you, if it's in your budget, please have it staged. Bring in furniture. Bring in furniture. That's a tool that I'm using now more than ever. And, that is something that is, time and time again, I could get, I have many clients that we've done that with, and I've convinced them to go ahead and stage it. And yes, it costs a bit, but guess what? It works. And it's easy, because if it costs a few $1,000s, all the time I've seen it, you be able to double your money. And if you can double your money anywhere else, please let me know, because I'd like to invest. But if you spend, anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 to stage a house, bringing in furniture and everything, and if I told you that you can get anywhere between, $4,000 to $10,000 extra, would you do it? I sure hope so. I know I would. I know that I do that. I recommend it, and it works. Okay. Step number 3, expect longer days on the market. Okay, so the average right now is between 68 and 73 days. Okay, that's normal. That's what we call normal right now. That's normal. So if your house is on the market for 20 days, don't panic. Don't panic. In markets like this, and every time I go through one of these cycles, your house kind of has to percolate a little bit. It's got to sit there. We got to try to get the buyers to come through, because we know that they're not as active as they were. So you have to be patient. Okay, you have to be patient. And the goal is ideally we want to sell before we hit average, right? If we hit average, we know there's something wrong. That's what always triggers me, is that if we're on the market for the average amount of days, we know something is wrong and we have to correct it. So what is that? Is it staging? Is it cleanliness? Is it pricing? Is it, is there something about the market that we didn't foresee? And the markets shift, the markets move. The market is a living, breathing, changing thing. So you have to understand that concept too. What the market is doing today may not be what's happening in 30 to 60 days. Okay, keep that in mind. And so that's of course important to understand and important to see. Okay. Step number 4, offer incentives to buyers. We want to be able to offer incentives. This is what we do. This is called negotiating and providing buyers with options. Now, what kind of incentives? Well, some easy ones are a flexible closing. Okay. If you are stuck on a certain date, that may cause you a bit of problems. So if you have a flexible closing where you can close earlier or later or longer, that could really benefit the buyer looking for the house. Okay. Do a pre-inspection. Okay. So with many of my homes now, what I'm doing is we're doing pre-inspections. We'll go through, I'll bring my house inspector through. We'll do, we'll hit some of the major items to pre-inspect the house, to have a good look, have a report available so buyers are aware. But what's on that list, if the inspector says that something needs to be done about that we need to fix X, Y, or Z, then let's fix it. Fix it now so the buyers don't have to encounter that. That's the real goal. Clean everything up. Make it look real nice. Make it as presentable as possible from an inspection standpoint so that we don't have to go ahead and cross those other bridges when if they come up. Okay. And then create buyer-friendly terms. So buyer-friendly terms. Well, what's that? Well, we're talking about, appliances are included or not included. Some of your other chattels in the house, sheds. Are you flexible with what, maybe that they want? Maybe you go ahead and have the furnace inspected for them. Okay. And for me, for a lot of my buyers, I will offer a 12-month home warranty program. Okay. So I'll do stuff like that to make sure that if there's a buyer out there, I do not want to create any more barriers. I want to eliminate all possible barriers that are there to get them in, to get them to make an offer and to hopefully come to an agreement. Okay. And the key point, of course, is that sellers who remove any friction always win. So we remove those barriers. That's how you're going to win. Okay. Now, questions, please post them below. I'd love to hear from you. Any additional questions are here as I do a quick check. see anything that's come up, okay, send me a message. You can also send me a text for anyone who has my cell phone number there. That's readily available. Please fire that over. If you're looking for my full market report, you can actually text me here on my phone number, 226-400-7322, and I'll be sure to go ahead and send you over this full market report and give you all the data and the details. If you'd like to know your current and updated home value, text me to that same phone number, text the value to that. And of course, if you're a buyer looking for some great deals, text HOTLIST to that same phone number. And I would love to go ahead and get you my hot list. And some of these are some of the best properties that are around that we're encountering and that we're finding that are off market, hard to find. And of course, that no one else knows about, which in this market is a great luxury, of course, okay, to try to find some of those additional gems, okay? All right, drop your questions in the chat. I'll answer everything that I can. I have some that were sent to me already, which is great. So we'll dive into some of those. So some questions here. Now, I was asked this once again. I was asked this last night. I was asked this again today. Do you think home prices will rise or fall in the remainder of 2025? Well, and going into 2026. So I think that house prices are going to remain basically flat or stable, give or take a bit, going into 2026 for the first half anyways. The important part there, once again, is the houses that are in good condition, that are staged to sell, are going to sell. They will probably sell for more money than we had expected. That's the key part. Once again, it's about the staging. It's about the presentation in this market, like I mentioned. Okay, so they're going to remain relatively flat. I see us having one, maybe two more interest rate reductions coming up into 2026. I think that's going to occur also, and that's going to stabilize some of the prices moving forward into the end of 2026. Okay, would you buy first or sell first in this market of 73 days on the market? Well, that's a great question. We need to have a plan together for your house and what's happening with that. So with the plan, I always offer my guaranteed sales program to everyone. And that is where if you're looking to sell, I will go ahead and I'll make you an offer on your house so that we can go out and help you buy a house that you love, and you can buy that house cash. And you can save some good money on the other end because I've given you that cash unconditional offer on your house. Okay, that's one major advantage in this market where it can help you get along, help you save a lot of money, and get you a new dream home faster. Okay, so I would use my guaranteed sale program to go ahead and get that accomplished. Less stress, less worry, less headaches, and no sleepless nights. Okay. There's one that was sent to me earlier. Which Brantford neighborhood do you? So which Brantford neighborhood? So they asked, what would you want to live in the most? But what I want to ask you is, I don't want to talk about my favorite neighborhood, but what I want to talk about is, what Brantford neighborhood do you want me to analyze live? Okay. If you want me to go ahead and do a bit of a deep dive into what neighborhood to get you some additional information and to get you some great background on it, please comment below, text me to my phone number, or comment on any of the platforms here. I'd love to hear from you, and for any properties that you would like, any neighborhoods that you would like for me to go ahead and do a deep dive into. Okay. Because I can dig in pretty deep and I'll do that here on a live and give you the full details. And the other question here that people have is, what price point do you think is moving the fastest right now? Okay, well, that I can answer fairly quickly. In the Brantford real estate market right now, the median days on market. Okay, so once again, to refresh everyone's memory, if we took all the sales and lined them up in a row and we chose the middle number with the equal amount of sales on the right, equal amount of sales on the left, the median number is 46 days on the market. Okay, so 46 days on the market in the city of Brantford is where that sits. And that price point right now is $607,500. Okay, so that's where that sits. Now, so to answer your question, in Brantford, the fastest price range is under 6. That's selling the fastest. Okay, from the middle down. Okay, and that's logical. That's where a lot of buyers are. A lot of first-time buyers are. Any investors are there. Any property people that are selling their house and they're moving up, that's probably where they're selling at. In the county of Brant, the median days on the market is 63 days on the market, and that price point is $705,000. So once again, in the county of Brant, it's a little bit higher. So anything from 700 or so and lower is going to be the hotter, faster moving market, generally speaking. And then once again, for the same logic, that's where people are looking to buy, and that's where they want to be. Okay. So thank you for those. Please post any more questions below on TikTok or any of the platforms here. Love to hear from you, and I will get to them in a future live. So before we wrap up, I want to go ahead and highlight something important that's happening in our community. Now, Brantford continues to grow because of lifestyle, affordability, and community strength. And I want to take a moment, of course, to shine a light on the Brantford Blessing Center. Now, they're feeding about 150 people a day, supporting families, and truly changing lives. We support them with every home that we sell, and we're just able to go ahead and to contribute to help them go ahead and pay for their Christmas dinner, so everyone there can have a nice Christmas dinner, courtesy of the Adam Marshall team. So much appreciated. Okay, if you'd like some more info or you want to donate, comment blessing or send me a DM. I can send you some more information, send you a link for some of their fundraising that they're doing, and to give you an idea of where you can contribute and where you can help out. So, all right, let's wrap up today's Market Masterclass. If you want the full market report, text market or DM me market. Your home's value, if you'd like to receive that, just text value, and I can get that over to you pretty quick, pretty easy. And of course, if you'd like my hot list of deals, text hot list over to me, DM hot list, and I'll be sure to get that over to you. Now, if you're thinking of moving up and you want to buy before you sell, don't guess, get the plan. Okay, DM me the word plan, and I'll send you my buyer game plan to make sure that you're on track and that you know what you're doing, and I can show you how we can go ahead and save you thousands of dollars in the process. Okay. Thank you once again, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Please like, follow, and share this with anyone that you know of that's thinking about buying or selling in Brantford Brant County. I appreciate you. Happy Thanksgiving, of course, if you're from the States or if you're in the U.S. Or American. And we'll see you next week on Ask the Marshall Live. I look forward to chatting then. Of course, DM me any questions. I'd love to get to them, and then we will talk then. All the best. Thank you so much for watching Ask the Marshall Live, my weekly live stream where I answer your questions and give you the real truths and the actual facts of what's happening here in the Brantford, Brant County, and Norfolk area markets. So please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll talk soon.